All right, folks, welcome back. Thank you, Rebecca and Joe, for taking us through the content and mapping systems. That is a lot of data to get through. Caroline also gave us a taste of Bugwood outreach and support, which is central to the Bugwood mission. If you're interested in hosting us for an outreach event, let us know. And for our last portion of the summit, Debbie and I will be demonstrating Bugwood Tools in action, using a few of our special projects as examples of how Bugwood Tools work together to support projects and partners. Debby Monfort, in addition to being our communications director, is the Gulf South Vector Media Team co-chair and will show us how Bugwood Tools are being used in vector outreach.
Right. Thanks, Michaela. Thanks for everyone still hanging in there. So we're really excited about this portion of the webinar to show you. We've been talking a lot about what our tools are, and it's really hard to visualize what all they can do without an example. I'm a visual learner, so I love when people draw me pictures. So at the beginning, Chuck shared with us, what is Bugwood? What are our strengths? What are our standards? Reliable information, a collaboration partner, outreach and awareness, tools that are going to support solutions, and then trustworthy data. So as we go through these two projects, we will touch base on each of those pillars. So Gulf South Vector, it was actually a project that I started with, but it aims to identify gaps in vector-borne disease and vector control education, training, and outreach. After those gaps are located, the project hopes to develop and enhance learning opportunities, produce and provide expert-sourced content, and then, of course, just train the next generation of vector-borne disease-focused professionals. Um, Support for this project is provided by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and USDA NIFA through the Southern IPM Center. So, for our purpose here, we are the collaboration partner. Um, Bugwood, alongside with many other partners, helps make Gulf South Vector happen. Our role specifically is to develop, host, and maintain a website, and then facilitate resource hosting and access. So Vector basically it's our Connect rock star. Um, Connect was a baby when when the Gulf South Vector project began, and so the growth of Connect has gone side by side with our partnership with this project and the New Orleans Rodent, Termite, and Pest Control Board and this grant. So it's been really neat watching Connect as well as our other tools develop, just because the level of involvement of our tools that support this project. It just makes it a really good example. Connect, obviously, the resource database is a prime tool used here. Bugwood Presents and Bugwood Images. So for Gulf South Vector, in the first stages of the project, we established a collaboration just to organize users at whatever level they might be, kind of identifying who our audience was, what direction we were going. Partners are the users who are managing the project. Members are the workers of the project. And then subscribers. Well, those are the users who we're trying to reach and bring into the network. for this project with outreach and communication. So an example would be those are the students or pest control operators, mosquito abatement districts in regard to this particular project. Those are the people that we want to know that Gulf South Vector exists. So partners and members. So we added them to the collaboration when we talked about bringing in and updating your profile and connect. Everybody came in that way. It didn't matter what their user role was. Individually, self-service. This isn't meant for a manager behind a desk to do, but for you to provide the tools for your team to use. The profile content that they fill in feeds the demographic composition and your group expertise. And so as an expanded feature, you can have this really nifty partner member directory integrated onto your group's website with WordPress. And the really neat thing is if anybody moves or updates their profile, it's done in real time. So there's no, oh, can you change the website, update this? So for using this platform, Connect, it's the user interaction platform. So beyond the project managers and members, Vector needed a way to capture the contact information for the people it was coming, in touch with, either at a training or a meeting. They wanted to continue that contact, continue the relationship and mainly through sending media. Newsletter was the prime example. So it was just a way to maintain engagement. So enter the subscribe feature. So this subscribe feature comes in, someone is interested in being a part of the group. They come in, we approve them, and then all of a sudden they are members of the group. The hope being that a user would enter the group, they would subscribe, become interested and invested, and then their role from subscriber to member would change. So 1169 is the number to remember. So about 40 of those users are partner members. The rest, 1,130, that's the capacity that Gulf South Vector is building with their meetings, with their trainings, and everything that they're doing. So now what? We have partners, we have users. Now what? Well, we have a whole lot of information and we want to provide all those people information, but what do we do? This is where the hub of reliable information comes in thanks to the resource database. So we are bringing all that content in, loading it in, using the content alerts that we've mentioned to deliver, hey, you've got new content right to email boxes. And then we're moving on to outreach and awareness. How do we put that into action? We've got our content. We're letting people know about it. Now we need to share all the other information about the project. So for Vector, we use website. We use the events calendar. We have newsletters. Our websites is generated by WordPress. The events calendar powers our events calendar, which is the most active feature on the website. We have a blog that powers our newsletter. So all of this happens with the help of Bugwood. Using the newsletter builder and Connect, you get this really cool way to send emails that are then tracked, checking opening rates. Now, we want to know about data. Uh, you have all of the demographic content and expertise that goes into your group. Connect breaks it down for you. It shows you the makeup, the composition of your collaboration, whether or not you have gaps in it. Is there a specific audience that you see over another? This really helps in your communication. What level of language do I need to? This is specific for the vector collaboration, but you can also do that same analysis for your subscriber group. We got out of order here. Um, so now visualizing impact. The same statistics that we have been offering, talking about, are available for your collaboration. So, resources, what are we putting in? How is it being used? You can see your reach and engagement because it's being counted by a Bugwood tool. So, as you think about this, think, you know, some of the applications here that we're using for Vector are exclusively for this project, but they're available for anyone. Just because Vector's using it doesn't mean that it stays compartmentalized. They're just a great example for you as an audience to consider how this suite of tools can be used for your projects, and how they can be customized to fit your needs. So that is one way of using our Bugwood tools.